Hi, John. Thanks for accommodating us for today. And this is just going to be a casual chat about a little bit of your background and your take on lighting scientific harness. Can you tell us a story now that your name is pretty much institutionalized in the world and in the Philippines when it comes to harness and FMA? But no one really knows, or a few people know, how you got into harness. Can you tell us a little bit of how you started in harness?
Easy. It's my dad's fault. I blame my dad. Uh, Growing up, he'd take me to his work on the pretense that nobody's going to take care of me, blah blah blah, at home. So he'd take me to work, and then we'd go watch movies. So this is really the start of this whole journey for me. He'd take me to movies. We'd watch all these kung fu flicks down in Ermita downtown, and the interest in the martial arts grew. So I started enjoying all these kung fu flicks, Shaolin, Ninja, blah blah blah. So it starts there, but the real journey into Arnis started in the university. At that point in time, I was already involved in wushu, and in the university, if you remember, we do this demo all over the university.
Yes.
That all the other martial arts clubs, we do this.
This is in the
demonstration.
University of the Philippines.
Exactly. So, and there was one time during this demonstration, I saw the demonstration of the UP Arnis Club, and headed by Master Elmer Ibanez, and that demonstration blew my socks off.
Yes.
So my journey into Arnis specifically started there. I'm a Filipino. Why don't I know this stuff? That was really what really hooked me. I mean, I'm heavy into wushu. I'm with the wushu club. We're doing all these demonstrations, lion dances, dragon dances. We're doing all these competitions, traditional forms, everything you see in all these kung fu movies. But how come I don't know Arnis? So it was a big question that I felt I needed to answer. And it took a while. It took a while before I actually joined the group. I guess I cross-trained with them on one side where I started with the wrestling group. They were wrestling, and I joined them. And on one day, I just decided, yeah, it's time. So at the end of the wrestling practice, the artist group would start practicing, and I said, I want it. This is the time. I'm making my decision now. So as soon as I picked up that stick, I've never really put it down.
Right. And with that, and I could understand and appreciate where you're coming from as soon as you get hooked now. But how did you know that this is it? That this is the art I want to study for the rest of my life?
Well, one, I feel like it's an art that it. There's so many ways and so many. There's so much in it that's there, that's undiscovered, or maybe it's there just waiting for you to learn it. Parang there's no end to the path. I felt that it was a challenge. It was very challenging, especially, weapon work. It's one challenging enough to learn to master your own body. Then you're introducing a foreign body into the situation, something that's not anatomically part of you, and trying to make it part of you. I found it very challenging. The mix of the attributes of using a blunt weapon, long, short, then going to blades. I found the intrigue and of mastering this tool, mastering this weapon, fulfilling. Plus, being Filipino, it felt like a cultural responsibility. Being interested in the martial art and being Filipino, why don't I know this? If this is really part of our heritage, why why don't I uh, why don't I know, or why don't I understand this when apparently the culture it's deeply inculturated in us, through history, that we have heroes who the traditional heroes who were practitioners of arts such as this, or the predecessors of these arts, protecting their family, protecting their land, protecting their culture. So I don't know. I guess it felt like partly responsibility, partly also that value, finding something awesome in Filipino culture.
It's interesting that you say that because a lot of people who study martial arts have their own interpretation of why they're studying that art. In your case, just hearing from what you said, it was not just the system itself, but there was a calling inside of you of being either a patriotic, or
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
in the blood, or the forefathers of this art suddenly, in your dreams
Yeah,
went.
let's go back to what I said about my dad taking me to all these Chinese movies, Kung Fu Ninja, blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying, why don't we have movies like this about Filipino martial arts? You know, native heroes. I mean, I read about them in school, like the Ifugao warriors of Liguyon Dinuyagan, their spear fight. Mystical heroes like Lamang and all that. And in mainstream Philippine culture, Philippine media, we had none of it. Growing up at that time, we had none of that. It's always all these foreign heroes, foreign superheroes, when we have something awesome in our culture. So it was a bit of a late realization, since it did, you only get exposed to get exposed it later. You take it for granted. I mean I think that's what I mean to say. Growing up, you take it for granted, and then some you see the connection suddenly, that why don't we have something awesome in our, it could be the colonial mentality that we might have, we still have, being part being colonized by a foreign country at that point in time. So it could be that we always look to others, to another culture. But I guess when I saw Arnis, I was saying, this is something we can be proud of. Why aren't we as proud of it? That's the real kicker for me. We have something awesome and we're not proud of it. So I decided, maybe I can do something about it.